Yeah, well, I'm pretty tired. I don't know about you.
No. I mean, this has been this has been the norm for me
Really?
the last
Just
3 months.
uh,
I don't think I've gone asleep before 1 a.m. the last 3 months.
wow. That's
I also haven't been awake before 9 a.m. So,
that's
and mostly I've been waking up at 10:30 and recently around noon. So,
it's
That's what I've been up to.
impressive and sad. But let's see. I guess this is the Uneducated Statements podcast.
No, it's not.
I'm Andy Abode,
Mark Joseph.
and I don't know. Last night kind of took it out of me, even though we didn't really do that much, and I'm not hungover or anything. I'm just really tired.
I'm not physically tired. I'm more emotionally, mentally tired.
Yeah, took a lot out of me. It was a real roller coaster last night.
It is more of a nervous type
Oh my god.
strain. So
Yeah, see, I was okay. So, give you guys some more context. Mark and I actually
we did a comedy contest.
Yeah, and last night was the semifinal round.
We made it all the way to the semifinals.
Yeah.
How impressive is that?
Yeah, let's just leave it there. We don't need to give any more details. We only had to make
the quarterfinals was whoa.
Yeah, quarterfinals.
I was surprised I made it to the quarterfinals, but then we made it all the way to the semifinals.
No, so okay, this contest there's 3 rounds to it. It's the Steve Trevino comedy shootout.
Yeah.
Help me out with this.
Bang.
Bang. And there's 3 rounds. There was the quarterfinals and
Which was the preliminary round.
yeah, which was Wednesday through Friday, and last night was the semifinal round, and the finals will be next week.
Next Friday, or this coming up Friday.
Yeah, and I actually technically didn't even make it to the semifinals, but someone ended up having to pull out of the contest, and I was given their spot, which was very cool. Shout out to John Michael McDermott for being a real homie on that. But
Good job on the pull-out game. Almost called him Sean. John.
Sean. Yeah, John's pull-out game's real. Yeah, but last night was fun. I don't know. It was really nerve-wracking, but Mark and I competed with 13 other comedians.
We threw down hard.
Yeah, we did.
13 other comedians, I guess, including us. Yeah, so 15 total. Some really good guys.
Yeah, everyone was really nice. I didn't really talk to some of the guys, but
some of them were too nice. They came up and then they just turned and they saw me. They're like, "Oh, I think that guy's a comedian." And then they turn "Hey, I'm this guy." I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
I feel like you're just being nice to me. I don't know. That sounds kind of cynical.
It's better than just fucking staring at each other awkwardly, saying, "Oh, am I gonna be funnier than this guy? Is this guy even a comedian?"
Yeah. I feel like at that point you kind of they're a comedian. You just kind of develop that recognition of oh, that guy looks nervous, or
it's
there's something about
so it's
him.
like gaydar but for comedians.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because gay people apparently can always tell.
I had a hard time knowing that even blatantly gay people were gay for a long time. I still do. I don't dudes are lisps and they're super friendly with me. I'm like, "Oh, that's a really nice guy." I'm like, he's gay, right? I'm like, "What? That guy's gay?" They're like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh, huh."
Yeah, I'm historically pretty bad about picking it out. All the signs can be there, and it's just whatever.
Were there any gay comedians last night? Question.
Gay comedians last night. No.
Other than Andy Gomez.
Other than Andy Gomez, no. I mean, George was there.
Oh, okay, he was there. He'll listen to this too. That's great.
I know.
He'll be the one person to
just
listen to
fucking
this.
with you, George.
You can imagine him sitting there
they got me. He can't even defend himself. No, I liked everyone that I talked to last night. The Vietnamese guy from Houston. What was his first name?
Sun Tran.
Sun Tran. Yeah.
That's his first and last name.
Yes, first and
A
last name.
Vietnamese guy with the last name Tran.
That's pretty common.
So original.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say unusual,
Oh.
being sarcastic. But no, I. Have you ever had Vietnamese food?
Yeah,
It's
I've had pho.
fantastic.
I've had lots of pho.
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 I need to start.
It's not pronounced pho. It's pronounced pho.
Pho. Yeah, I know. I need to tell my joke about that.
You dummies. Is
Um,
it like a pho king joke?
No, it's like
What the pho?
I want to
Fight your foe with the pho.
no, I want to open up a Vietnamese restaurant called What You Here Pho. And then every time someone walks in, I can just be behind the counter and say, "Hey, what you here for?" And they're like, "We're here for pho." And I'll be like, "Pho, yeah." And then everyone's fucking psyched because it's a buffet. So, you know, real
Cool.
high level stuff
Cool.
I'm working with over here. So I didn't advance to the finals.
Neither did I.
Yeah, but I think we gave it a pretty decent run.
I think for like the level we were at right now in
Yeah.
terms of comedy, I feel like we did pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and on that stage.
Yeah, I just really wanted to do my spot justice since I kind of felt like I was going up there for John, Michael, and myself.
Mm-hmm. Bring honor to
Bring honor to
the
our
whole
family
situation.
since someone said we looked related recently. I can't remember who it was or what the context was, but they thought that we were related.
I mean, you're both white guys with
Yeah,
like raven black hair.
Yeah, white guys with black hair. You know, okay.
So I guess y'all got that in common.
God, reverse racism is so hard sometimes. No, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of put a little more pressure on myself for that. But I don't know. So let's break down the show a little bit. 15 comedians, started at 9. The place was packed, you know.
We started with later than 9, I feel.
Yeah, like 9:15, whatever.
20 maybe. So yeah, 15 comedians, 7 minutes each for a set.
Yep.
So
A decent amount of time. Honestly, I was surprised at how quickly it went. Because I feel like I only told like 2 more jokes than I told at the prelims or whatever.
yeah. Well, I had like the issue where like I didn't want to tell like too many jokes. Like I didn't want to like have to because I tend to rush when I tell my stuff. So towards the end I was like, oh no, I still don't see the light.
Yeah.
And I've like almost told all my jokes. I only have like 30 seconds left, and I like as soon as I was thinking that, like I saw the light, it's like, oh okay. Blah 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 blah. Joke, joke.
I saw the first light, and I knew that my last bit was just under 2 minutes, and I was like, perfect. You know, I saw the light, and then I know that I'll have a little bit of the extra minute on the back end, but it felt like only like 30 seconds when I saw the second light.
Oh, I didn't want to see the second light. I didn't want to go over.
Yeah, I saw the second light and went for like 10, 15 more seconds. Which I think I don't know, that might have been bad, but I don't know. It was just it's hard to judge time up there. But the crowd, it was okay. It seemed like a diverse crowd. The place was packed, which was cool. But it seemed like an older crowd. You know, I feel like some of my stuff didn't really quite hit home with them because they didn't know what I was talking about necessarily. And I could tell that I could tell like where the young people were in the audience based on where the laughter came from for certain jokes.
Yeah, I noticed when I was like kind of sitting in the audience, and this is like just in general for like I guess comedy shows and stuff. A lot of people towards the back, they don't really laugh, but they're enjoying your shit.
Yeah,
they're
smile.
smiling,
Yeah,
they're kind of like chuckling to themselves really softly, but like they're not so engaged with the rest of the crowd or with you because you're so far away that they're gonna get that big reaction. And then sometimes if you got the people that just aren't necessarily the right people for that specific joke, but they're in the front and they're not laughing, it kind of feels like you're not doing really well.
Yeah.
Even though there's like a smattering of people that are like, I fucking like this guy. Yeah, that's a good joke.
Well, I distinctly remember thinking, well, first of all, I had to follow Sean Miller, which was kind of tough. You know, congrats to him for moving on to the finals, by the way. He probably is not listening to this, but no, he did.
Hey, y'all have a what? A caspid?
How
How do I get that? It's on the YouTube.
You got one of them radio programs there in your rectangle.
The other day, when he was hosting the show, he's like, "All right, don't forget to go to 77948 and text comedy to www.laughdowntown.com."
Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness.
I love you, Sean.
Yeah, I love Sean, too. And, of course, he got the whole crowd in that kind of, like, weird, like, frenzied euphoria where he could just say anything. And I'm not even sure he was saying anything. He was just he's just upstairs. There wasn't pot belly and stuff. And
the audio setup, especially in that top room, does not favor his vocals at all.
But he just sounds so funny.
I went outside and like I could hear him through the wall, and like I could actually understand the words he was saying.
Oh, really?
But yeah, he just sounds funny.
I can't even do him justice with like a impression. But man, going up after him was weird. But I don't know. I think I did the best I could with my spot. I
would have liked to go up earlier. One, so that I wouldn't have to like be compared to everyone that went before me.
Right.
But two, so that I could actually like chill out and enjoy everyone else's set.
Well, see, I actually had the opposite experience because as soon as I got off stage, I thought, that was a good set. I did probably the best I could. And then I was somehow more nervous after I got off stage than before. Because I just wanted the show to be over, Yeah. I was like, all right, okay, you guys are all funny, but man, fuck, I just want to see what happens. Like, did I make it or not? And, I knew it was like a long shot making it to the finals, but, I kind of thought I had a shot. But yeah, I knew it was kind of an outside shot since some of those people were just so good.
Yeah, I mean, it all came up to the judges.
Yeah.
Really, when it comes down to it, and they can be as impartial as they want, but they're still people, so their perceptions different. They were all two of them. Or is it how many? Were there technically three judges?
I think it was three judges.
Okay, so two of them were actually in the sound booth,
right?
And then one of them was by the bar the whole time. He was standing the whole time.
Yeah,
he's kind of a big guy.
I thought he was a comedian, but it turns out he was a judge. He was just writing in his notebook the whole time, and I thought he was just one of the contestants. But he actually messaged me on Facebook. I forgot what
he messaged you.
Yeah, he asked me to contribute to a podcast. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Didn't message me.
It's called Dead to Me Obits.
Because he told that joke? Is that why?
I don't know.
That's probably why.
Yeah, like Dead to Me Obituaries. We are just starting this, not officially launched or anything. So I probably shouldn't be saying this on the podcast. Good thing our own podcast isn't, I don't know.
Isn't viewed.
Yeah, all 5 or 6 of you
listeners.
that listen to this, please keep what I'm about to talk about under wraps. Basically just a team writing exercise. When someone dies, we throw in our one-liners, and I shape them into an obituary. Let me know if you're interested in being in the group. So I haven't messaged back. I don't really understand. This was at like 3 a.m. and
okay.
So
he just drunkenly starts podcasts.
Yeah, I guess. Looking at it right now, though,
That's his thing.
It seems like how like when Prince died, a bunch of people made a bunch of stupid jokes. It's probably just like stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Like the too soon things. Strike while the iron's hot, or while the corpse is still warm.
Sure.
I guess I don't know. It's kind of fucked up. I don't know if I want to contribute to this.
It'd be great if it was just people from like the local newspaper obituary.
Yeah.
So it's just super crass and like in poor taste.
Yeah, I heard the old man up the street from me died. Fuck him, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna be getting your newspapers now. Huh.
Oh, jeez.
Can we talk about? So, I feel like we're kind of in this position where I think we're like most qualified to talk about it, whereas like amateur comedians, we're not we're not so far removed from that experience, like not knowing exactly how like mics work and like getting on stage exactly worked.
Yeah.
But we kind of know shit, so we're not like professionals. We're like, oh, this is all we do. I feel like people have like a lot of misconceptions about like how stand-up comedy works.
Oh yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
Like the first time I did it and I told some people that I had done it, they're like, "Oh man, so when are you gonna do it again?" I was like, "Probably next week." And they're like, "What? You can't do it next week. You have to come up with a whole new 5 minutes to do." I was like, "What?"
No.
I was okay, maybe. I mean, I was gonna do probably new stuff anyway, but
Well, honestly, I think we probably still have some misconceptions about how certain things work, but I feel like that stuff's very nuanced, and we'll get the hang of it. But
I think like a lot of people think like, oh, so like you watch like a special on TV. A lot of them don't necessarily understand like, oh shit, that person put those jokes together
yeah,
and wrote them. Like a lot of people, I think like, oh, that guy just decided I'm gonna talk about this, and this today, and I'm just gonna go up there and be funny because I'm a funny guy.
And I think I don't know. That's probably the biggest thing people don't get. They think it's about being funny, and that it's not so centered around writing. It's literally the most important part. Well, actually, I don't know. I wouldn't say that necessarily. For most people, it's probably the most important part. But for certain people who can just get on stage and be fucking funny, maybe not so much. But those people are really rare. Like Louis C.K., Patton Oswalt. Those guys write probably just as much, if not more so, than professional writers who are putting out books and stuff.
Right.
But it's so. I mean, it's literally the same process. They write it all out, and then they try and look for the best words or the best phrases or the best sequencing of thoughts. And I'm sure they'll write it just hundreds of times. Maybe just for like a 1 or 2 liner joke. And yeah, just like drafting and revising all that stuff. It's like it's kind of mind numbing sometimes. And it gets to the point where I don't know about you, but like sometimes I just don't even think my material is even funny anymore. Like personally, I don't think it's funny, but I know it's funny because like I've put the work into it and worked on it so much.
I know it's funny because I say it and people laugh, but sometimes I feel like I'm just like going through the motions. And I'm like, oh, this isn't like, even when I do it on stage, like someone's like, man, this isn't even like satisfying. Sometimes.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Not that it's like satisfying. It's just like it becomes like if I heard myself like whenever I hear myself like telling stuff, I rarely like laugh at it now. It's just like. It's just I've come to expect that it's funny because I've worked on it so much, just trying to pick the right words, trying to do all that stuff, yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
I've definitely got a lot lazier with my writing lately. Like for a while, I was just trying to like get up every day and like make my bed and then write for like 10 minutes, just whatever for 10 minutes, and then that way I've already written for the day. And I've like kind of like prepped my mind, so like, oh, I have something I kind of like think about, throughout the day. If I'm doing like kind of like menial type shit, stuff that doesn't require a lot of thought, like, oh, maybe I let my mind drift off, like, oh, think about fucking midget animals,
Yeah, I typically just I've never been the kind of person who can just sit down and write at like the same time every day, but I definitely just if I need a distraction from something I'm doing, then I'll jot some notes down, or I'll like write out a joke or a set that I've been thinking about.
I usually like to write if I get like really worked up about something.
Oh yeah.
So like when I went to go to that fucking Tim McGraw concert,
Yeah.
afterwards I was like, that's like legitimately one of the like shittiest concerts I've ever been to. It's like that got me like, oh fuck everyone here. And then
a joke was born.
I also like to like and this kind of rarely happens because I'm like going to bed kind of late now and a little bit of alcohol involved, but like right when you're kind of like drifting off to sleep and you like have those good ideas where you think good ideas, you're like, oh, I should write that down, but you know what, I'm really tired, I'll remember in the morning, and of course you don't.
Right.
So I like to do that, and then every now and then, but I probably should get a little bit more disciplined with it.
Yeah.
Just set aside time every day. This time, I'm going to be doing this.
But for me, it's like something creative like that, and it seems like it's one of those things that it's I don't know. I feel like putting it through a regiment, like just a routine type deal. It kind of takes away some of the magic. You know what I mean?
A little bit. The way I've heard it described that I kind of like that makes sense, even though it hasn't like had that big of an effect on me. Is you're kind of like mining.
Mm-hmm.
You're like mining for gold.
Yeah, that's very
So you just
true.
got to keep chipping away, and eventually you find something. You might get lucky. You might just strike right there, or it might just take some time. You have to like, go through a bunch of shit to get to the juicy parts.
Absolutely.
The juicy gold. People hate that noise.
Yeah.
People hate
You've
that
done
noise.
it on like 3 podcasts though, so far. Jeez. I don't know. It's not like we're fucking Dom Arara or Joe Rogan up here talking about comedy, but I don't know. I think I mean, we definitely know more than the average person.
Right.
I
I mean,
don't know.
like, so definitely we have misconceptions about like other things going on, but like in
Yeah.
terms of some smaller things, just like kind of the basic shit that like people would have a misconception about. Like if you see someone
Yeah, like what?
perform once,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, that comedian is just not good. That's some like not comedian forever, and like that just sticks in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially if it's an amateur, and they're like developing, they might be better the next time you see them.
Yeah.
But you just have that idea in your head, like, no, I saw him once, he's not good. Nope. Mm-mm.
That's definitely
like
not how it works. Like, I'm trying to think of someone who I've recently seen like that recently. Well, yeah, like I've seen a lot of improvement in like George and you, since I've been here, definitely. And let's see, Doug, Bill Eves, probably most recently.
And he hasn't even done it that much.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
impressive.
from the first time I saw him to like, and then I didn't see him for a month, and he went up on stage, and I was like, oh,
I feel
okay.
like for him, it's definitely like, okay, he's gone up on stage a bit more. He's had more practice. I feel like we've also kind of like got a bit tighter as like a group of people.
Yeah, that's
so it's
true.
like more comfortable, at least like, oh yeah, these are my friends back there. This is a cool place to do this. It's a
Yeah.
good environment.
That's true.
I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it that we're all like so tight like that, because when like all the comedians are in the back of the room for open mic,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes we're cheating ourselves by having our friends laugh at our jokes.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not laughing at your joke, but like they're laughing ironically at how poorly you're doing.
Yeah, I'm really guilty of that. I always laugh when you
Or
have
they're
jokes
just
that
laughing because he
bombs.
said something like fucking like so shocking. It's
Yeah.
like, but no one else thinks it's funny. Like they're not the audience
You're
that's
right.
gonna watch you do comedy.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's been telling for me is I've actually had to stop telling some bits that I've kind of caught on to the fact that only the comedians like them. Like the bit about Zeus and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I tell this joke about where I
don't know if I've ever laughed at it, but
well, not you.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I wrote it and I was just like, whatever. And basically, it's a joke about like me having gay sex with Zeus. Just full disclosure. But like George and John Michael love that bit for whatever reason. But then
it's the imagery. It's the imagery.
yeah, probably. But I've noticed that they're like the only ones that like it, and so that's why I don't really tell it unless I'm kind of just like, it's open mic and I'm just like scrambling to like do more time and like, okay, yeah, we'll just try that. We'll just run this one back again. But I've done it a bunch of times and pretty much no one laughs except them, so I'm pretty sure that one's just a dud.
What's there's like one of the stories about Zeus, like he turns into like a shower or something like that, and he impregnates a woman like that. I don't know.
No, there's one where he turns into a swan.
Okay.
And then rapes this woman, and she gets pregnant, and that's how Hercules is born. I think. Doesn't
What
matter.
a beautiful story.
Right? Yeah.
Disney,
Just,
get on it.
just wings flapping and feathers everywhere.
Get off those. Who's the dude? The Hans Christian Andersen guy. Get off of his stories. Start doing the Zeus swan sex rape thing.
Jeez. Maybe not. I don't know if that one's good for the kids.
I mean, they'll bastardize it a little bit.
It's funny because Hercules is a bastard.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
Anyways.
It's a good movie. Or at least it was when I was a child. I haven't seen it in a while.
Anyways, what do you think are some other misconceptions that people have?
Those are really the big ones I was thinking of. Yeah, I don't know. Because most people, they, especially like in like kind of these more like intimate environments with like the open mics and like these tighter rooms, they kind of get like for maybe, I don't know, at a certain level, like, oh, it's kind of like nerve wracking to go up there.
Yeah.
But like at this kind of point, it's not like a bravery thing. Like, I'm like, get up there and I'm gonna face my fears. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
this is something I
definitely not
just
like that.
do now.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
They're like, you're so brave going out there. I'm like,
I don't.
No, I kind of have to do this emotionally. I need this.
Yeah, I hate when people bring up the fact that public speaking is the number one fear now. I'd rather do that than a lot of things now. I feel maybe too comfortable on stage now, but I would rather I would rather like go on stage than try and like kiss some girl for the first time.
Then like approach a stranger and have a conversation with them,
or ask for help when you've already asked like twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or knock on someone's door for like the fourth time when like they haven't been there for the past like 2-3 hours. You know what I mean? Like when you have to talk to someone and you keep trying to catch them, but you can't, and so you always go by. Then you like feel dumb because the same people around have seen you like knock on the door like a bunch of times, and then you have to do it again, but you really don't want to, and you're just screaming inside. I don't know. Maybe this is.
I have
just
no
me.
idea what you're talking about.
This is just me.
I definitely feel more comfortable doing those things now. Like, but still, like, compared to like doing the stage thing, which I've done more of. I don't know. It does seem a lot less intimidating than the kind of like intimate type shit.
Yeah, I don't know, but even stuff like, I don't know. I'd much rather just get on stage and talk about my dick in front of strangers than like dance or something like that.
I do every now and then when like I talk to someone, they're like, "Oh, can you get a picture of all the comedians?" Or like, "What, can I follow you on Snapchat or something?" Like, so that way when you make it big, I'll be out there at the beginning. I'm like, "God damn right." I'll fucking show everyone.
I'll show everyone.
You bought in early. You're an early investor. Good for you.
Yeah, be careful who you call dumb in middle school. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, the other thing that I want, misconceptions, like if you're just funny from the get-go, you can be famous in like an instant.
Absolutely not.
Like you just need to get discovered. You just got to have the right opportunity to like, oh man, he's funny at the beginning. Boom, you're good to go.
Stuff like that doesn't happen though. It's not like
I feel like in general life people feel that way. Like, maybe you'll have a kid and he'll just be so smart that he'll get a full ride scholarship and he'll just go on to be a millionaire one day.
Yeah,
like,
but then like those people obviously that haven't had a successful kid or someone successful like that in their family, because they don't understand that kid had to like study super hard and like write a bunch of essays and apply a lot of places. It's like everything else. You have to put yourself in the best position to success. Or to succeed,
right.
to success. I just sounded like the biggest dummy. And I was trying to be super serious and give really good quality advice. Oh yeah, we're going to listen to this guy. So this is what succeeded looks like.
No, I get it. It's the whole like if there is luck, it's like the chance favors the prepared mind type shit.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to put yourself in the best position to succeed. You have to try and create stop laughing. Yeah, you have to try and create opportunities for yourself. A lot of these comedians, they didn't get discovered. They made it by just really, really grinding super hard and writing all the time.
Someone will say like they got like really lucky and like this one person picked them up, but like
right.
They had to get themselves in the position to be.
Yeah,
lucky.
There was so much that they had to do to kind of prepare for that opportunity so that when it did come along, they were able to take full advantage of it. Like, I don't know if you ever heard like Joe Rogan talk about like going on the road with like Andrew Dice Clay and stuff or anything like that. Maybe I remember him saying something about that and saying how that was like really instrumental in his success. So like getting up to that next level.
Right. I remember hearing him say that Dice Clay told him to go on the road.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
You
yeah,
should go on the
not
road.
with him,
You're funny. This TV thing, it might not work out.
Yeah.
But the road, you always have the road. I know Sebastian Maniscalco opened for. He was his like big featuring opening act
short Italian guy, right?
For Dice Clay for a while.
Yeah.
Which like they also like he's like the clean version.
Yeah.
Of what the Dice Man is. So.
Yeah, I don't know. These guys, they just, I don't know. It's people like Louis, Patton Oswalt. I'm sure those guys. I haven't really listened to them talk about it, but if they had to just grind and grind and grind, and I'm sure they were pretty funny when they first started out.
Yeah,
but
I think it was Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, I know the name, but
he has the whole the machine story.
Oh yeah, okay.
Bert the Conqueror.
Yep.
So it's show on the Travel Channel. His story was he was working. I think he was just barking at a comedy club in Boston, and for whatever reason, Will Smith's people came in and they saw him. They really liked him. They gave him like a TV deal or something like that. So he got his big break.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't.
They don't give like fucking opportunities to people that like suck though.
Yeah,
that's what we're getting at.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I can't think of someone who just has so much raw talent that when they just start off, it's like boom, like you're right there, you already did it. No, there's like years of groundwork you have to lay down, and I don't know.
Yeah. Charlie Murphy's a little bit different because he's related to Eddie Murphy. It's like when he started out.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, yeah, here's $5,000 to do a show, and he'd never done comedy before. He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll take
it.
Well, yeah, obviously there are exceptions that prove the rule. Like, maybe it's like I don't want to shit on him, but maybe like Kevin Farley. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't start doing comedy until after.
I don't know.
After like Chris Farley was like a famous actor.
Maybe.
And that name probably carried a lot of weight.
Did you ever see that commercial with Brad Pitt's brother?
No.
He has a brother apparently. He's just like in a car commercial. He just looks like a watered down version of Brad Pitt. He's like, yeah, I'm Fred Pitt. I'm gonna drive the kids to school and gonna go to work. Yep. Yeah, I'm not Brad, but I drive a reliable car. Something like that. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good commercial.
Jeez. Let's see. I don't know. So the contest is over. We didn't win. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. So
guess we didn't get lucky. We weren't lucky enough to get a big break.
Just have to sit at home and keep waiting for our big break.
I do wish we had like more open mics in Corpus going on. I wanted to start one since like the beginning of the month. Like I was kind of thinking about it, but like I'm also kind of thinking I really don't want to stay in Corpus for the next couple months to like really see like
absolutely.
any project like that really come to fruition. So like I don't want to like start and be like, okay, I'm leaving now. I'm ducking out. This isn't for me.
Gone forever.
Sorry. We had fun. I think you're really great. I think you're a really great open mic, but I gotta focus on me and my life. I was breaking up with my open mic in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
My imaginary open mic that doesn't exist.
Your open mic took it very hard. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that I guess if there were more open mics, that'd be better. I guess there's that one that's gonna start off over at Jesters or Bella Luna or whatever. They did the one. I don't know.
I don't know. Corpus is a small place. It's a small podunk town.
Yeah.
It really is. Like it's a city. Like there's 300,000 people. It definitely has like a small town vibe to it.
Yeah, it really does. Because there's so many people here that you talk to them, but they're the kind of people that like your impression of them wouldn't be any different if they were like covered in mud. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like those kind of people where it's like, you know, you talk to them and they're nice and you have good conversation, but like you would have the exact same conversation and you'd think the exact same things about them, even if they were just covered head to toe in mud, like just all over their clothes. Like, I don't know. And I had this epiphany last night, and I was like, I don't know what that means, but I don't know. It kind of fits.
It kind of took me a while to realize, like, because I've always had an impression like Corpus wasn't that great, but for me to realize like how truly terrible it is to a certain extent, because like I lived here my whole life, but
Right.
fucking like in like middle school and high school, I always took the advanced classes. I was kind of away from the majority of the Corpus population,
Right.
and then like I didn't live in like super crappy part of town, like
You didn't live in Flower Bluff or anything like that.
no, but like I did have family that lived like other parts of town.
Yeah.
I just didn't like process like, oh, this is a worse part of town.
Yeah.
Like these people here don't make as much money, or
They do drugs.
they do drugs. Yeah.
Yeah. I live in Flower Bluff, by the way. It's not a great spot.
How are the people here? I feel like I don't know. I feel
I
like
don't associate with them, so
they look very unhealthy in general.
Eh.
The fast food here is terrible. Like I know fast food in general is not like super good, delectable treats, but like I don't think I've. But aside from the Burger King, every other fast food experience I've had here has given me diarrhea.
Really
For sure.
interesting. I don't know. I try and stay away from that stuff,
Okay.
but every now and then,
Fair enough.
you know. So I haven't had any bad. I don't know. Why are we talking about this?
We're talking about terrible people.
Yeah. I don't know. Corpus isn't that bad. Well, actually, no. What? That's actually the opposite of what we're saying.
That's what
No,
I was saying.
No. Let's get back on track. It is terrible. I don't like it. I really can't wait to leave.
Like any other place, it has its ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
It has its good things and its bad things. A lot more bad things than good things. Or maybe just like the absence of good things rather than like actively shitty things.
I guess. I don't.
I like, what is there to? That's what everyone complains about. Like, there's nothing to do here. There's nothing to do in Corpus.
Well, people say that about anywhere, but seriously, it's hot and it smells bad, and a lot of
Does
people.
it smell bad?
I think it smells bad. That's like one of the things I noticed. I don't know if you've ever been on the water over here. It smells terrible.
Oh yeah, it smells like eggs.
Yeah, eggs all the time, just eggs.
Especially when you drive out towards the island.
Oh yeah, eggs.
It smells like fucking eggs.
Just eggs.
I don't know why. Is it like sulfur in the water, or
I think that's what it is.
is it like a shitload of sulfur?
Probably.
Just for whatever reason, just eggs.
I don't know.
Eggs. Yeah.
So
So Magic the Gathering.
do we really want to talk about this?
Sure. I don't get it. Is it like Yu-Gi-Oh? That's my perception of it.
Okay,
It's like
no.
super advanced Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well,
Because I watched a little bit of it last time we were here, and they're
Yeah.
like turning cards, and they're like putting shit down, and they're flipping them kind of. And I was like, oh, I know that from Yu-Gi-Oh.
right. So
They're
okay.
in defense position, and they go to attack position, and you got life points or mana or juju beads and Swedish fish.
Do you want to keep making stuff up, or do you want me to give you the rundown?
And there's Klangor, the Destroyer, and Hrothgar, the Terrible,
Yep.
and Beowulf, the guy from Beowulf, and Seamus, whatever his name is, that translated it, and he's also in Magic the Gathering.
Well, so yeah, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but I play Magic the Gathering, and it's a lot of fun. I'm okay at it.
Let's talk about some of the misconceptions people have about Magic the Gathering.
No, I don't know. It's a really fun game. Like, people think it's just a kid's game because it's a card game or whatever, but it's actually probably like a lot of people that play it will say it's one of the most complex games
It's
that they've
probably
ever
the
played.
greatest game ever played. Okay.
Well,
Sorry, chess players.
Well, it's hands down.
Sorry, Go players.
Sorry,
Hungry Hippos players.
I hate you so much. It's hands down the most complex game that people play, and it's definitely the best.
Do you know what I think the most complex game that people play is?
I don't know, the game of love. That one's probably
Yeah.
more complex.
Yeah. That's what I was
All
going
right.
to say.
We're super.
Anyway, I'm going to let you talk now.
We're super gay now. All right.
Anyway, complex game,
Yeah, and
Magic.
It's
We all
the best.
we all gather for it.
It's the best trading card game in the
We
world. It was
congregate.
also the first.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was in. Well,
I feel like the Egyptians probably had something.
okay.
Like stone tablets.
No, it was
They
the
weren't
first
cards.
first widely published trading card game in the world for sure. It was invented in 1993. I don't know. Basically, it's a really good game. It has a worldwide following. And basically the idea is both players show up to the game and they have a deck of cards, typically 60, and you can have as many as you want, but people always play the 60 to have the best statistics for the cards that they draw and stuff. It's pretty standard, so 60 is the minimum you have to have. Anyways, both players start off the game with 7 cards and 20 life points, and the ways you can win are you get your opponent's life to 0, or they go to draw a card for their turn and they can't draw a card from their deck. So if they run out of cards, those are generally the main ways you can win the game. And it's a game about like resources. So every spell in the game has a mana cost, and to generate mana, you have to play these land cards, and you can play 1 land per turn, unless you have a card that says otherwise. And you tap these lands for mana, and there are like color requirements. 5 different colors of mana, and obviously that corresponds in the mana cost. And you tap the lands for mana, and you play your cards. You have creatures, instants, sorceries, enchantments, artifacts, stuff like that. And each spell that you cast has an effect that affects the game. And there are cards. I'm hating this, by the way. This is not fun for me at all.
I'm learning so much.
I don't know. There's permanents. Cards that you play them and they stay in play until they're removed, or cards that are one-time use like instants and sorceries. But basically each turn you try and like build your mana, and you can reuse your lands each turn, but once you tap it for mana, you can't do that again in the same turn. So basically it's like you're slowly building your resources and slowly accumulating permanents, and all the while trying to keep your opponent from amassing more than you, or there's different strategies. Obviously, you control your opponent's resources. Try and have make it so that they do as little as possible, or you just try and play faster than your opponent. Get stuff out there quicker, or there's combo decks. Where if you have certain cards together, then you can just win the game on the spot. By making infinite mana, or dealing infinite damage, or gaining infinite life. It's just, I don't know. And obviously every strategy has a weakness to it, so players try and play the deck that has the fewest weaknesses. But obviously when you show up to a tournament with hundreds and hundreds of people, you never know what you're going to play against, so you kind of have to like hedge your bets. And there's a lot to it. I don't know. Maybe if you ask me like some specific questions, this would be a lot better, because I feel like I'm just rambling and no one's listening to this, I'm sure.
What are the groupies like?
The groupies? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Are there?
Believe it or not, there are pro hoes
God
like
damn
for
it.
Magic the Gathering.
I was hoping that would just shut you down.
No, it's insane. There's oh man, there's I mean, all of them play for the most part. Some of them are artists who they'll like show up and alter cards for players. If you have like if you like a certain card, you might want your favorite movie character or cartoon character painted on it, or whatever the fuck. And a lot of these artists that go are just like way too into Magic players, and obviously like the pros that win GPs and do well at the Pro Tour and stuff, like they just get to like fuck these chicks. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's weird, and some of them are really cute.
But most of them are.
Most of them aren't. Most of them are not. I mean, you think dudes that play Magic the Gathering look rough? Like, you should see some of the chicks. Oh God, people are gonna listen to this, and I'm gonna be shunned from the Magic community for saying that.
Andy Abode, how could you?
Yeah, how could I?
They're gonna hear that name, and they're say, "No, not allowed here."
I mean, it's like everything. There are ugly people and attractive people that participate.
Yeah, more ugly people in Magic the Gathering though than in the rest of the world.
Your words, not mine.
Well, I was asking a question.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. The particular concentration.
Yeah, there. It's a culture that rewards intelligence more than physical beauty. So, yeah, it's whatever. I just like it. Some of my best friends, they play Magic. I still keep up with them, and it's like, I don't know. And
Jack.
It's been a great excuse for me to like travel all over the country to play, and see new things. And I haven't really done that well at that many events, but I like it. It's so much fun.
I definitely feel like I need like a game to play in my life or something, even like a video game, because I kind of convince myself that I don't have like enough time to do things.
Dude, you have so much time.
Have, like all the time to do things.
Yeah.
So I almost like sit at home like, I'll watch this YouTube video. I'll watch that YouTube video. Oh, you know what? Someone told me about this TV show. I'll watch that. Oh, I kind of want to eat now. I guess I should kind of exercise now. Gotta walk my dog now. Gonna drive out of town now. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you'd really like it. A lot of people, they make fun of it, and obviously, I don't know. So, I was introduced to it when I was 8, because I had this neighbor, and he was a teenager. He was a little bit older than me, and sometimes he would like babysit or whatever, and he played, and he taught me how to play, and that's what we'd do whenever we hung out. We'd either play video games or play Magic, and I really liked it. It was a little too complex for me as an 8-year-old. But then I remember in high school, I felt like I needed a hobby to keep myself preoccupied when I was cutting weight for wrestling. And I found like my box of cards that he had given me when I was 8 in the attic. And I was like, maybe I could pick this back up. And one of my friends said that he'd played it a few times and said he'd start playing with me. And so we started playing together. And he didn't really get into it as much as I did, but then I found a group of kids from my high school who played it, and started playing with them all the time and going to tournaments and stuff. But
my resistance to getting into it, aside from like the social stigma, is probably like the same kind of resistance I feel like most people have into like getting into anything new, which is like, oh man, there's like so much time I have to invest, and like people are already at this level, and I have to put in all this like mental energy as far,
and money
like
too.
Money too.
Yeah,
so.
The money is kind of the worst part.
I think that's kind of like a general bugaboo people have about like, oh, I'd love to learn to play tennis, but it's scary getting into it,
Or like oh, I love like wakeboarding, something I could be really into, but I don't have the money to invest in all the equipment and blah blah.
I think generally, people just don't want to be like vulnerable to a certain degree, and they're also kind of, I don't know.
Or they worry that they're gonna like overextend themselves, like financially trying to do it, and then it's not gonna be justified because they're not gonna be able to do it that much. But I don't know. For me, like I built up my collection kind of over the years, and I have a few decks that I play. But other than that, I kind of haven't really spent a lot of money on it lately. But man, there are times where I found myself. There have been multiple times where I've felt like, I just have way too much money invested in this game to justify it. And then, no, like I'm dead serious. Like when I moved from Maryland to Florida, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to afford the move.
Wow.
And I had no idea what to do, and I was freaking out. And then I realized, I can just sell some of my Magic cards today and I went, and then I just had like $1,500.
What the fuck?
Yeah, fucking cardboard, right? It's insane. I sold like a few dozen cards and just had like, almost $2,000, and I was like, I'm set. I'm fine. And then I still had cards. Like it was like I sold one deck. Okay. And I was like good to go.
Definitely to a lesser degree. Like I think when I was a kid, when I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh, I spent like $300 in total, which like for me at that time was like a lot of money
a fuck ton,
as a kid. But like now that I think my cousin, he's my age, he was telling me like, oh dude, all our cards are worth this much. I was like, oh whoa, that's so cool, because like now my cards are worth 10 times what I paid for them, or not 10 times, that's a fuckload, but like they're worth more. I'm like, but you know what? They kind of have like nostalgic value. Like I'm just gonna fucking keep them.
Yeah, I mean, I have cards that I collect that do that, but dude, like you can't justify having a piece of cardboard just like collecting dust in a binder if it's worth like hundreds of dollars.
Oh, hundreds, yeah, for sure. Mine are like 20.
One piece of cardboard and it's like worth $300 some. Yeah, no shot. I'm gonna sell that, especially if it was stuff like move. Like I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna cover my first like month's rent
if it's like your quality of life versus having this thing.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like there are people who have these insane collections, but they like, they'll have they'll have binders worth like literally like tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But they drive shitty cars, and they like live in shitty apartments, and they work just fucking dead end jobs. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? I just don't get it. When people put like collections and stuff like that over their quality of life, it just makes zero sense to me. But it does feel weird to say like, I've sold cardboard to pay rent. Like, but it's kind of nice to know that like, I play this game and it's fun and it's enjoyable. But if I ever need to get out of it, it's not a big deal.
I'm getting out of the Magic game, you guys. Calling it quits.
But yeah, I don't know if I've probably told you way more about it than you wanted to know.
What circumstances you think would cause you to quit playing Magic the Gathering?
Permanently?
Yeah.
A
woman?
Just physical inability. No, dude, I've had weird, not like physical inability, just like, not being able to go to events or not having a store available to me. But like you can play it online. There's Magic Online, which I play too.
Okay.
But I do that less. I don't know. I haven't been playing a lot lately because
do you have to pay for content online? Do you have to like buy decks online, or is it?
Yeah, but the cards are significantly cheaper online.
Okay.
Because they're not real.
Right.
And but I typically just play like limited formats online where you open cards and then you build decks based on what you open, and you just play with those. So it's cheaper that way because I'm not buying specific cards. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't play that much here because there's one store in town and there are no big events. A few weeks ago, I drove 6 hours to Dallas to play in an open, but that was I don't know, the biggest event around here that they'll have for the next year.
I'm pretty sure the university probably has some stuff going on, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to associate with those people.
Right, because that's not like actual competitive Magic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, because I kind of
talking about them being like really kind of sad, depressing.
Well, yeah, that too.
Human beings.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, oh, I'm in danger of failing Cal 1. Why? Are you partying all the time? No, I'm up late playing Magic
with the guys on my floor. Yeah, no, don't want to associate with that. No, I was actually playing it really competitively for a while there. In college and like right after college, I was like flying to tournaments and stuff and trying to do that because I just had I had some lofty goals in the game, but I'm kind of put that on the back burner for a while now. I'm definitely a worse player now too. I graduated college and then 4 days later I got on a plane to Las Vegas to go play Magic.
Really?
Yeah, so instead of fucking backpacking through Europe, I was like, I'm gonna go gamble and play Magic the Gathering. That's the kind of person I am. So, ladies, if you're listening to this, form a line, I guess. I know, I'm really, really making myself sound attractive right now. Yeah, I've been to Vegas twice to play Magic, not just to go to Vegas.
Wait, how many times have you been in Vegas?
Twice.
Wow. Good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do the Vegas stuff when I'm there. You know, I gamble,
But it's not the focus. It's not the
yeah,
priority.
I don't go to Vegas to go to Vegas. I go to Vegas to play
You
Magic.
keep your eye on the Magic the Gathering prize.
Exactly.
You don't lose sight. You don't get the slot machine hypnotism.
Nope.
Wow.
But slot machines, that's where it's at, though, because you can drink for free while playing the slots.
Can you really?
Yeah, certain casinos, for sure. Yeah, so you just put a 20 in and then ride it until you've definitely had more than $20 worth of alcohol, and you're set. Yeah, it's great. That's well, I think that's part of the reason that those old ladies sit there all the time. It's because they're fucking alcoholics. They're not gambling. They're not addicted to gambling.
I don't know.
I'm sure they go hand in hand at some point, but that's probably why they sit there for extended.
I feel like
periods
it's the
of time
only
to start with.
technology they can like tolerate.
Maybe. It's also sad. I don't know. It's it's like sad but kind of funny to like see some of these people who are just so far gone and their like gambling addiction. I saw this dude. I was with two friends. We were sitting in front of these slot machines just drinking. And there's this guy like across this like walkway on another slot machine, and he had a cigarette in one hand, and he was pulling with his right arm, and we would walk past and we saw that he had like $15 left on the machine.
I think it's like his right hand was fucking jacked. His shoulders.
No.
Brrr.
But he was
Hulk arm.
He was just like chain smoking like a fiend, and so we see him pull, and his expression never changed. But I remember he had a cigarette lit, and I looked over as he pulled, and then he like paused for a really long time, which is something he hadn't done yet. And he was just holding his cigarette, and then he slowly reaches up and pulls again, and then his mouth kind of opened a little bit, and he just sat there staring at the slot machine while his cigarette burned. And it burned like all the way to his fingertips.
Aww.
And the ash just fell on the ground, and he didn't even fucking like blink or notice at all. He was just staring at the slot machine.
He's a dreamer. You can't
obviously
fault
out of
him.
money.
Huh. The last time I was in Vegas, the one time I was in Vegas, I think I was like in the 3rd grade. So I definitely had a crazy Vegas experience.
Yeah, I'm
Went
sure.
to Circus, and that's it. So
Sick.
they didn't have a Peter Piper there or Chuck E. Cheese, just Circus.
I don't know what that is. What is Circus?
It's a casino with the circus in it.
Interesting.
They do like trapeze, and I think they have regular slot machines, but still have like fucking Peter Piper type gambling for kids, arcade games. So
Wow, I guess that is kind of gambling for kids.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Never thought about it like that. It's just tickets instead of real money.
get them when they're young.
Huh. Wow.
Wow.
I don't know.
That bueno.
I think that about covers it, you think?
I think we're good.
Cool.
We're good for this episode.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go think about child gambling now.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, this has been fun, man.
I was gonna go think about children anyway.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why.
Seems like
That-
your speed.
I just want to say something really creepy.
Right. You're good at that.
Nice. Thank you.
But yeah, this has been another episode of the Uneducated Statements podcast. I'm Andy.
What's your name? That's your name. I'm Mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yay.